Quite a few people have asked me over the years, in what language do you think? Once they find out I speak more than one language. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alhan. I'm an interpreter and children's author. And today I would like to talk about the languages that I think in as a speaker of a few languages. I am curious to find out if you are a multilingual, whether you go through the same things or if it's different for you. For me, it depends on what I'm thinking about. If I am thinking about my to-do list, for example, it can be in all the languages I know. Sometimes I have a to-do list and I have items on it written in English, Arabic, and Persian. I don't use French as much, but when it comes to English, Persian, and Arabic, I literally think in all of them every single day. But I think there is one language of all these three that is ingrained in my subconscious mind without even me having to do anything with it. It just happened this way. And that is the first language that I have learned as a human being. What proves that to me is that day when I had a day surgery, my Canadian friend took me to that surgery. And when I was on the way back home, her husband was driving the car and she was sitting with me in the back because I was still very sleepy. I would fall asleep, wake up again. Without noticing it, I was speaking with her in Persian in many of the times in which I opened my eyes. And then after I'd closed them, I think I said something that she did not understand. And later on, she told me the same thing. She said, a few times you've said stuff to me that I did not understand. And then I thought it was me not hearing you properly, but my husband confirmed the same thing. So we figured you were speaking in a language that was not English. And that was a fascinating realization for me that when my brain is not fully conscious, the language that my brain feels the most comfortable thinking in, and as a result, my mouth speaking in, was the first language that I have learned as a human being from the time that I was in my mother's womb, and then I was born and heard this language, only this language, for the first 4 years of my life. Yes, I have heard some Arabic here and there too, but the only language in which I was communicated with and then I communicated back to others with was Persian. And that is the language that came out when I was not fully conscious. So that was a very fascinating realization. Now, because Persian is not my strongest language, even though it's my go-to language, it feels like home. If I want to describe the languages I speak, I'd say Persian is home to me. I feel very cozy when I think about Persian. And I feel like, you know, when you're just relaxing and you're home and you don't have much to think about and it's easy and things are fine, that is to me Persian. So when I'm thinking about family and also, I don't know why, food, Persian is the language that comes to my mind. Now, the other two languages. English is right now the language of the majority where I live. So it's the language of communication between me and the outside world. I think about English when I think about anything that has to do with stepping outside of home. If I'm going to the grocery store, if I want to speak to someone, if I have a job interview, if my car is broken and I need it fixed, anything that has to do with me being outside of my door, then it's in English. Now, where does Arabic fit in? Arabic fits in when it comes to my daily job, especially when I talk to people who speak the Gulf dialect or a dialect that's very close to it. Then I start thinking again in the Qatari dialect, which is my native Arabic dialect. That's how I describe it because I was born and raised there and that was the language of the majority where I grew up. So that feels like home. But also in my shopping list would usually have all three languages in it. So it depends on what I'm trying to buy or trying to do, my to-do list. Again, Arabic could be in it based on what I'm thinking about. It's really funny when I'm thinking about food items that I want to buy, mostly whatever comes to my head first is what I write. Something that can affect my thinking in a particular language is if I'm binge watching a show and that show is in a specific language then I feel that my brain has had a lot of that language and it starts thinking in that language for a particular amount of time. Or if I'm reading a book and I spent a few hours a day just reading that book or listening to an audiobook, my brain becomes accustomed to the language of the book that I'm either listening to or reading. And then it starts thinking more in that language that I was exposed to the most in that particular day. Currently, I would say that I'm exposed to all three languages equally in my day, not in the same form. I would listen to and speak in Persian a lot at home. Reading and writing is more in English because most of the emails I write are in English. Most of the emails that I receive are in English. So there is a lot of reading and writing in English in my day. And Arabic is mostly interpreting when it comes to me answering phone calls and responding to different clients in different Arabic dialects. So this was my experience. I'm really curious to find out about the languages that you think in, and I would like to know what influences that. So please share that in the comment section below and let's have a conversation about it. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share if this is the type of content that you would like to see more of. And please click on the notification button to be notified of the next video. See you next week.